showstoppers, Evan the Show here, and this is formerly known as Weekly Snap, but now we call it the News Rant. I've got some special people in the building with me. We all, tight-knit and close up in here, but it's all good. We're going to go down the line. I'm going to have them introduce themselves and what they're known for. Go ahead, Javon.
I'm Javon Cree, owner of Impact Universe LLC, and I'm your network.
All right, he said that all sexy, What about you, young lady?
Hi, I'm Victoria. I'm just your typical college student majoring in journalism, and I also intern for Jack Thriller for his show Party and Bull.
Okay. And what about you?
It's a small world because I know what's his name. Ryan?
Yeah.
He's
Billups.
Ryan Billups. He's shout out to
the
Ryan.
Photo guy.
Yes.
Shout out
all
to Ryan.
connected, man.
Yeah, shout out to Ryan. My name's Reg. I run Little Engine Media with my partner Tom, who's off in the cut. Also run the CTM podcast, Serial Entrepreneurs. I'm not gonna keep going with all the businesses, and I host the
I'm here for
the
it.
CTM podcast. Yeah, it's some real estate stuff. The rest of the stuff is boring. It just pays the bills. But the CTM podcast, which is on iTunes, Google Play, and SoundCloud. So check that out.
Awesome. Got some great minds here. Make sure y'all connect with them. We'll give their social media stuff later. I want to dive right into it. Y'all know this is a current event show. We basically deal with a lot of entertainment stuff. And the funniest thing, well, maybe it's not funny. Maybe I shouldn't be laughing. But Wendy Williams, did y'all see her thing on her show? Her show was live.
Listen,
on Halloween.
The memes.
Yeah, the memes
ridiculous.
The 50 is a savage.
Oh, 50 is
I don't know about y'all, but I mean, I really have a heart. But I laughed on the low.
Yeah.
I try not to laugh, but that was one of the funniest things that I've seen when they start repeating it. And it's November right now, so the greens, potatoes.
Oh, yeah, I did see that one.
That was terrible.
I don't wish bad on anybody, but at the same time,
she kind of that's mean to say, but you didn't
so
feel as bad, right?
Yeah, you put so much out into the universe.
She put so much into the universe.
Oh, man. Yeah. Now, she said that she overheated in her costume.
That costume was thin. There's no way she could overheat it. It was nothing.
Listen,
and that studio is crazy cold.
I've been there. I've been there. Yes.
Look, I've been in there too. It's not that. Look, come on, man. She's not eating, man. Come on. I don't know.
No, but she could be using drugs again too.
Really? I mean, I don't want to get her to hit.
Right, I ain't trying to put that on them, but I need a crackhead when I see one. I need to confirm.
I'm in the media mix, so I'm not gonna go there. But I'm just saying, the whole making a living gossip. That's one thing. Reporting on celebrity news is one thing, but then the one thing I don't like is when you speculate on, well, I think they're doing this, and it's like, everybody's a person. You may be famous, but you at home, you watching it. It's not good for your family, your kids, your family, so on and so forth. Parent watching it. It's just
that is true.
I don't subscribe to that.
Even though it's scripted, though.
Yeah.
Even though it's scripted,
it is. Yeah, I didn't know it was scripted.
I'm not even gonna speculate on it.
So that means it's a group of people just sitting there, just that's wild. But
yeah.
Listen.
It looks fake to me too.
At first,
it did. I thought she did it
until the drop. The drop seemed kind of real. You gotta really commit to the drop like that.
If you look at her eyes and everything, the way it was really like an eerie type situation when she
bugged out, like she didn't know what was going on.
Like when she
did go on her show and talked about it the next day though.
But I still didn't believe it.
She mispronounced a couple of words.
I don't know. Listen, I don't care what you say. Nobody would have dropped like that.
That was pro right there.
She fell out of the screen and it was. That wasn't a fake fall, man. That was a fake.
Moving right along, just a bit serious, a bit more serious, I guess. Tyrese, he's had a mental breakdown on social media. You see him crying, you see him going after The Rock, and he telling Fast and Furious that if The Rock's not on there, he's not on there. Then going at his, the mother of his child. A lot of things have, transpired in the last week for him. He said that he's broke and all of that stuff. What do y'all take of all of this?
Yeah, go ahead.
I could already tell things were skinny. That's the only reason, that's the only reason I could see him going out and being so vocal about it. Because, you knew you were going to take heat for going at the Rock. He kind of revived that whole franchise, so you should thank him for the bread you got in the first place.
Very true.
But I think I just saw the child video, I think he was saying something about he pays like $13,000 a month or something. Was that like a child?
He's such a good actor. I don't.
You don't know what.
I don't know whether he was crying or whether he was being emotional or just running for the next role. But he.
You never know with him though.
I mean, personally, he's become such a great actor. You don't know whether that was like a stage situation.
I wouldn't call him a great actor.
No, I'm saying
I think he was so.
I mean, like
he was being him.
I mean, like, all right, so like, you take somebody that's a singer that transcended the game of acting. I mean, like, from that level, I'm not looking at somebody like a trained actor, like from coming up from like Denzel Washington.
He's no Sidney Poitier.
No Sidney Poitier. But I'm just saying, like, from where he's coming from, how far he's come, I think that he's done a great job. But I think that mental illness is a crazy thing when it comes to entertainment, and I don't think that nobody's really touching that base. Because once you have to play so many characters, you walk away from it, and you still have images of all of those characters that you trained to be. So as me looking from the outside in, that's like a scenario where I can look at it and be like, look, he might be training for the next role, or he might be feeling some resonations from all his.
But Tyrese always played Tyrese. I feel like
he's like Samuel L. Jackson always played Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, sort of. Yeah, it's like when Miley Cyrus was like, I was playing Hannah Montana and kind of messed my head up a little bit because I was playing two characters. I kind of get that.
Right.
Like, Tyrese is always Tyrese. Like, you copy and paste his character in Fast and Furious and Transformers. He's the same dude.
Right. But the thing is that you gotta understand that the race baiting though.
I think it actually has to do with his daughter. I think that's really bothering him that he has to have visitation with her, like, supervised now. And before, she was able to stay with him because allegedly he was stalking his ex. Allegedly. And she got a restraining order on him, and it's just a lot of things unfolding.
Stalking?
No, he was stalking her.
He was stalking her.
Allegedly. So
I saw that he abused the child.
Yeah, I think he said it was abused, and it was like restraining order against him. But I don't believe it. She used to live with him.
Right.
He used to take care of her.
Right.
So.
It might have been a situation where, like, I mean, whenever you make a certain amount of money, it's hard. Money changes people in situations. Y'all might have got along. She's accustomed to living a certain type of way.
But $13,000.
$13 a month.
He just got married too, so
Ends
that's what
a
everything came about as well. So
he did.
it could be him getting married too. That has a part.
But
you know, rags.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, I think it has to do with maybe him breaking down. Is probably has to do with the child thing and all of that.
That's too much money, man.
Yeah.
Listen, Trump. That's why he's gonna do anything. Take that out of the clause, brother. I don't know
There has to be a cap.
Listen, it got to be something. Come on.
Definitely.
Listen, if you lived at a certain lifestyle you haven't lived that for your
entire life.
You know you haven't done it. Just like NBA stars, $13,000 a month.
It's not fair. Like,
some people aren't making $13,000 a year, and that's fact.
Right.
Really? Me.
There's some people that are making not.
Don't bring shame. $13,000 is a good start for those who aren't working.
She's still in college.
In school.
Yeah, I'm still in college.
Yeah, you're in college. You're good.
You know, you can't.
Sally Mae gonna come looking for you. That's for real. Sally Mae watching like.
Right, as soon as you say 13,000, so like, yeah, she's on syndicated shows. Okay, let's see what we get.
The child support thing is, I'm of too much because there's a lot of guys, like, you need it sometimes. There are a lot of people that don't take care of their responsibilities, but there has to be a cap. And if we get divorced, I get that you're accustomed to certain things. I was accustomed to having you around. You're not around no more. Alright? I was accustomed
to... I get to be with your sister now?
Yeah. Do I get to just pop up at the crib and, like, I was accustomed to dinner every night. Like,
right.
So, do I still get to eat?
We gonna get in trouble on this one.
I wasn't gonna take it there. I wasn't gonna take it that far.
This is a good one. Like, being me, I'm an ex, so I know I don't have those same privileges, but driving cars around, bank accounts, just making sure you get, like you in the house, we don't get that no more. So now you gotta understand that might be somebody new that's in that person's life. You have to understand that they come with different stipulations. Stipulations are different, especially when it comes to children involved. You know what I mean? Everything it becomes touchy, uneasy, especially art. Prime example, if you are a successful individual and the person is not growing where, they're not on the up and up, they're gonna look at you and they're gonna attack your lifestyle. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No matter where you're going, if you get successful, you start this person Tyrese on TV. So you're like, look, what I'm gonna do is throw as many accusations as I possibly could out, and this is the color that's being attacked right now.
Yeah.
So no matter what, it's gonna look really bad on him.
Yeah.
But the worst thing you could do is act out. Go on social media. I just talked about that.
It's a bad
Going on social media, pouring your heart out is one of the worst things you can do.
It's a bad look.
Yes.
That's not therapy. That's not therapy.
Not the way you
That's
heal.
not how you do it.
Talk to your grandmother, your grandfather.
Don't even talk to your grandmother.
Go
get some professional help.
Yeah.
There are studies
Churches,
that have been done though.
anything.
Like when you go onto your Instagram and you get a like, there's a dopamine.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
It's like there's a dopamine. It
Excitement.
almost becomes like a drug. That's why there's certain scientists that are saying social media and cell phones should be there should be a age limit sort of, because it's almost like a drug. It rewires your brain. You know what I mean? There are people that can't function away from their mobile devices for an extended period of time. I mean, I run a business on mine, so of course
we all can't.
Try leaving your cell phone in the
but,
car for a little bit. You stuck.
Right. You know, I mean, the analytics and all of you dealing
exactly.
behind the scenes, you obviously would have a reason to do what you have to do. But regular, everyday people, I've been realizing that they don't need to be on the social media all day long, because there's some idiotic stuff that's happening. And I realize that I just don't want to see that energy. And that's what we're all playing off of right now. So.
But yeah, this kind of stuff needs to stop. Like you guys are parent. I'm not a parent. You're a parent and you're a parent, correct?
Yeah, I'm sitting right over here.
I mean, if something like that happened, because I think a lot of the parents need to start getting involved. And
I think that's the whole thing.
Money change a lot, bro.
That
I mean, listen, to be honest with you, parents really, they cater to this type of format. You know, I mean, talk about from pageantry, from fashion shows, this culture, dancing, this whole culture, it comes, you're in contact with younger adolescents, and then adults are pretty much commanding anything they want to do. So obviously something is going to sneak through the cracks, So it's basically me understanding, being in the industry for a long time. It's some pretty weird stuff that can go on.
And I can agree with that. Yes.
So
yeah.
So let me ask you guys a question though. I completely agree with what you said. And it's weird because sometimes kids become like bosses to their parent. It's a weird thing to manage. Mm-hmm. But one of the thoughts I had was the guy that made the accusation. I think he was on Rant or whatever it was. Everything that transpired happened, I believe, over 30 years ago. It was between 28 to 32 years ago, just sort of off map. So do you think there's a limit to sort of bringing that sort of thing up? Do you think there's not a statute of limitations, but if I did something when I was because I think Kevin Spacey at the time was maybe 23, 24, 25.
Right.
If I did something when I was 25, can you bring it back up when I'm in my late 60s and sort of...
What's done in the dark does come out to the light eventually.
I think what happens is, the victim, sometimes you're just shocked by it. Or sometimes at 14, I guess maybe you don't realize that maybe that was happening. And sometimes you want to keep that from anybody, because sometimes you might feel maybe I'm doing something wrong if I tell on this person. I see this person as a guy. And then all of a sudden you're wondering why you have different, I guess, what is it? You have different thoughts and different actions that you do growing up because of that situation. And then you probably finally realize it and say, you know what? That situation with Kevin Spacey is why I do these things. Right. So maybe he's now I need to get out, because he might still be doing it, or he might have seen him do the same action to another young boy, and that might have triggered something and said, oh no, I need to put this to a stop. There's a lot of things that come into play with that sexual misconduct.
I think it was the whole Weinstein thing, man.
Because
everybody's accused of everybody. I think there was a Dustin Hoffman thing that came up.
I didn't heard that one.
Yeah, that just came out yesterday. It was some woman said Dustin Hoffman did something, and then there was something with Jeremy Piven. Mm-hmm. I think it's just open season on this kind of thing, and you
but
get
it's a trickling effect from all of the years of the misogyny and all of that promiscuous behavior behind the scenes, and then you got to understand that whole situation when it comes to people, the cats and couches and all of those things. It's the trickling effect of all of those years not being touched or talked about. Because if you said, "Oh, I've been abused," and it's a celebrity, obviously you're gonna be getting barraged by all types of media correspondence.
That's another factor.
Now the media and then being portrayed as the victim is really gonna be like, okay,
some people want the press though.
Right. Like I said, the misogyny and all of the things that's been going on in Hollywood, it's across the world. Yeah. And just because nobody says it doesn't mean, oh, this is not happening. This is like a closed case type situation. People say, oh yeah, that happened to me too. You know how many models comes out into the world, and how many people that are inspiring actors and actresses are in the world that been harassed some form of way, and then they say, I felt uncomfortable to their parents, but will go back out there for another role because they were motivated to say, okay, I'm gonna make this no matter what. And that's where
power is
the money and fame.
Say that again?
It's the money and fame.
Oh, yeah. Well, what I do, why I had you guys here, because I think you guys are phenomenal, and you're not like those guys.
Oh, no.
Y'all are definitely in it to empower people. I love what Javon is doing. If you want to explain just a little bit about an event that you have coming up, go ahead.
Okay, well, we have a basketball charity event that's at Canarsie High School. It's Harwood Charity Classic. It's basically 201 Basketball Academy and IMU Network. We have two companies come together. My cause is helping hoodies for the homeless. Basically, being an athlete that went into production. I have a heart for that because when you don't make the NBA, you end up on somebody's couch. So I think that kind of thing was. I have a high school partner. He'll be here shortly, but he can tell you a lot more about his cause and cyberbullying, and this is where you get a chance to see the heckling, and there's a lot of people that's not so tough over social media, that's not really tough in person, but they can do all of this bullying on social media because they have the power to. So I can tell he'll tell you a little bit more about that. But my company specifically helps the homeless, people that has post-traumatic syndrome, and they are in need of some type of focus. Impact University clothed them. They put hoodies, jackets during the winter season. This is my 3rd season doing this, and it's starting to be very successful. And I think everybody wears hoodies around here in the wintertime. It's cool. So hopefully you guys will join me in this mission, and I'm gonna get a whole bunch of hoodies and put them on as many homeless people as I possibly could. Go across the country with it, but the charity game is about, one portion is about that.
You just need donations?
Whether it be donations or whether it be, you can contribute. I'll get the hoodies, and me personally, is more about the mission in itself. Me personally, I think,
Well, no, I was saying, I go to New York every day in Harlem, and I pass a whole bunch of homeless people, like every single day.
Right.
So,
But so basically, when you think about somebody that's homeless, do you have, what's your first thought when you think about a homeless person?
Something traumatic could have happened in their life for them to be homeless. Right.
So, me personally, being a man on the couch at one point in my life, and I had pro aspirations that didn't work out. So, it goes from the I'm doing so well, then I'm a pathetic look. Then people start looking at you like that. So that's the feeling that when first a person starts to look at you and they say, man, I feel bad for him, then it's a pathetic look where I don't want to help you.
That's kind of true.
So I kind of give you some type of mission, because it means inspired movement, power, achievement, community together. That's awesome. The mission of impacting the universe. You take it away from me. Don't give yourself the power. Give it power.
And when is it again?
This is on November 18th, 2017. Canarsie High School. 7 starts at 7 p.m. Ends at 10. We have some talented artists. We have some talented basketball players. People from overseas colleges. We got Evan and Show.
I'll be warming the bench heavy.
We're gonna have a great time. Spacey Daniels. He's a great mentor to the kids in that area. He's also a strength and endurance and agility coach over there, and you know, we partnered up because we were high school teammates. So that's just what.
Now, what do you got coming up, Reg?
There's a lot. There's a lot we can't talk about because of the new media company, but we got really proficient at generating content for ourselves. It's not a problem. Again, Tony's off camera, but if anybody's familiar with like my Instagram page, that's Tony. Like my Instagram, like my whole Instagram page is next level. Like I would challenge anybody to get on my Instagram level.
Get on his level. He just told me.
Get on. Our Instagram level is like cinematic. It's crazy. But we're like a lot of small to medium-sized businesses. Maybe they got their round A, round B funding. They have challenges in producing content. I have some pretty interesting ideas about the future of media, the future of marketing, and you know, we're betting on those. We're betting on that. If
I think we could partner up.
Yeah,
definitely.
We
also right here on the episode.
Yeah, it's really great. The idea of where marketing's going, where content's going, in the digital space, we do digital strategy as well, and just the idea of brands that you would never expect having content partnerships with us, and us developing IP for certain brands. It's exciting. So that's what we got going on. And CTM podcast, we're ramping up for season 2. Season 1's not done yet. We're still posting. We have an episode coming out this Friday with Newark's own Anthony Frazier. He's on that episode.
Yeah.
My guy Anthony, shout out to Anthony. And that's it. Check out the CTM podcast on iTunes and Google Play.
Perfect. What about you, young lady? Yo, you put me in the know-how and everything. What's coming up? What? Anything? One of the shows? Any of it?
No,
All right,
I can think of right now.
All right, so this has been the News Rant. You know me, Evan the Show. You can follow me at Evan the Show on pretty much all across the board, Evan the Show. Make sure you follow my guy. Give me your social media.
Oh yeah, shout out to let's see, we got Stacey Daniels. That's 201 Basketball. My social media handles is IMU Network. I got my personal Jersey J11 and IMU Network and Impact Universe Clothing. Just look it all up and you'll find me.
Instagram.
My Instagram is Victorious with 2S B.I.J. Victorious B.I.J.
Nice. My Instagram is pretty simple. It's at LTLENG. That's my personal Instagram. Also, you can look up Calix Tech News, CLIXTCH _news. And of course, my guy, Tone Wolf at TONEWOOLFE.
See, now that's love. You gotta remember
that's a plug, baby. That's a plug.
If you go to my photos, y'all, I mean, it's next level. So
listen, it is. I gotta agree.
Yeah.
All right, well, I thank y'all for being on the show. Thank you for talking and chatting with me. This is EvanTheShow.com. Thanks for watching.
Impact the Universe.